All right, everybody, welcome to the Let It Fly show, brought to you by Omaha Steak. Since 1917, when I was just in high school, the proud local company has been providing many iconic and legendary restaurants, especially in the Omaha area, including the soon-to-be-opened, where our podcast studio will be, the Let It Fly Sports Bar in the Capital District, Memorial Day 2023. Next to me, of course, Josh Jones, former Creighton Bluejay, my co-host here. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Hey, when I heard you do the intro at first, when you say how something in the 1900s,
1917,
these news, I'm old considered to him.
Yeah. I'm old. I'm between two really young guys and one really young one. We have a loaded show. We're, of course, at Hail Varsity Club, as we always are, broadcasting the show. We're joined by the big man from Creighton, Ryan Kalkbrenner, joining us here on Let It Fly show. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
You are in a weird situation. So my name is Michael, and everybody's named Michael. There's so many Michaels, right? Ryan's not that. It's kind of rare. You walk onto a team, you got 3 Ryans on the same team. That had to be a little weird.
It was definitely a little weird because I don't think even in grade school and high school, I think I had like one classmate that was Ryan, and then I get on a team where 2 players and a coach are named Ryan.
Right.
That's crazy.
How do y'all distinguish as far as like who's who?
How was
like
it last year?
Last year, Hawkins was Hawk, so that was really easy.
For sure. Yeah,
and then Nemhard is either Nemhard or R2, and I got to keep Ryan.
There you go.
Okay, what is the R2 thing? Because I'm a Star Wars guy. He looks nothing like R2.
You're crazy.
What is R2?
It's I don't know.
Does he have like 2 first? Is it R and another first middle name R2?
I think someone just called him that
just
last year,
R2.
and it stuck.
I feel it.
That would make you R3.
Yeah. Hey, or it could be like you got like Big Mike, Little Mike, all that type of stuff. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's a second because you bigger or something. Pause.
Yeah, I think.
Pause. Well, he's big fella.
Yeah,
he's got a nickname that's simply like that's a big fella. And I'm like, that's a good nickname.
Yeah, I had that all the way through high school, so that sticks around a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
When did you first have your first real growth spurt?
I didn't have one.
Really?
Steady grower. Always tallest in my class, 3-4 inches every year. Just grow and grow and grow.
Oh, yeah. So it wasn't a story of like, man, I was 5'10".
I was handling it.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden I'm 7 feet.
No, I was like 6'2" in 8th grade, then like 6'5", 6'6" in freshman year, and then
for sure
6'8", 6'10", 7 foot going.
How old were you first dunked? How old were you?
That's a good question. Please.
I couldn't jump. I was unathletic.
Well, you were 6'5",
It was like freshman year.
At least you kept it real,
like
right?
This.
Yeah, right.
That's awesome. So let's talk about your recruiting process. You're a top 100 guy. Obviously, a lot of interest. We're always looking for big men. They're hard to find. What was your recruiting process like?
It definitely kind of, like going into freshman year, I don't like no one knew me. Even like sophomore year, kind of picked up a little late, so it kind of came on a lot at once. But it was just a lot to handle at first, but it ended up being really cool. I got to go see some really cool places, and then my top 3 ended up being Creighton, Stanford, and Purdue, which are all really good choices.
So you smart.
Yeah, a little bit.
Every time you hear stay like, that guy must be smart.
Yeah, what was it about Creighton that made you say, oh, okay, this is it?
Just basically the family environment. Like I didn't get the sense. Like obviously people are going to care about you no matter where you go, but like here it felt different. Like all the way down from like Mac to whoever on the coaching staff is going to care about you and try to take care of you.
What do you think about? As a former player, one of my greatest memories and moments is running out that tunnel. What about you when it comes to Blue Jay Nation and playing in front of 18,000 and stuff like that?
From that standpoint, like just how loud it gets during the games. I remember last year, when it comes to mind, it's just the Marquette game that came down to the last few plays.
That was
loud. Really loud. So that's I'm always gonna remember that.
Yeah, for sure.
It got rocking in there.
Yeah.
Ryan Kalkbrenner joining us here on the Let It Fly show. Josh Jones, Michael Severe. We're here, of course, at Hail Varsity Club. So you're making that decision, and you go to the different campuses. Mm-hmm. What I thought would be cool as a student athlete is everything's right there. Like your dorm could be here. You could roll in the gym. Yeah. School's right there. That seems like a pretty cool. Was that one of your deciding factors of how the proximity of everything was to everything?
I wouldn't say it was like a huge thing, but it's definitely so nice to like. My dorm is Opus Hall, so it's across the street from our practice facility. Yeah, for sure. And I know some people talk about wanting to have an apartment and live off campus. I'm like, I want to be across the street.
That's convenient.
Yeah, so I was definitely a big plus, but there was a lot of things that went into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. So what about you're a junior now. What you majoring in? What's your studies like?
I'm gonna major in management and entrepreneurship, and minor in bio, and I'm going to be done this year.
He's smart. Smart. You'll be done this year.
Yeah, I'll be able to graduate this year, and I can, if I come back, do a master's program or something.
Now the transfer portal is huge. Don't be one of those guys.
He's not going nowhere.
All right, man.
I love it too much here to go anyway.
That's awesome. So what did you miss most about home when you finally – did you travel a lot as a kid, or were you pretty much in St. Louis, or what was it like for your childhood?
We didn't travel too much. We did like a family vacation every year where we didn't go too far. We went to national parks a lot.
Yeah.
But I really didn't. A lot of the places I got to go were through basketball. Like LA, the one time I've been is for basketball. I went to Chicago a lot for basketball, New York, so stuff like that. So I really didn't get to travel that much. But I mean, Creighton's close enough to home to where you can go back. 6-hour drive.
Did you get homesick?
I
know you didn't miss any of the food because there's any good food in St. Louis. I know that wasn't something you missed.
Oh no, we got great food in St. Louis. I didn't miss
that pizza. That pizza, boy. Ooh, that's funny. I don't know what they did with the cheese. It's like some weird cheese combination.
He liked it. No, the emos is where it's at.
Oh my goodness! The fact that they call that pizza in real life hurts my feelings. So you were cool. So you left home. You were good.
Yeah, I mean, I missed home from time to time. I don't think I ever really got homesick. I think probably the same amount as any other college kid did. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little basketball, man. Yeah. Obviously that's what the sports fans want to hear, man. Mm-hmm. The place you guys are in now, you're a game over 500 right now in conference. Mm-hmm. You were preseason ranked very high, BPI, and also from what I've seen in practice and knowing you guys. Like, you guys, to me, are really everything that you were hyped to be or whatever. Mm-hmm. I guess my question is, for where you at now, like, kind of talk about it. Like, from where you were supposed to be on the hype to where the team is now. What do you think? What's your take?
I mean, I think still with the team we have, I still have, like, all the confidence in the world that we can still get to where we wanted to go and where we thought we'd go at the beginning of the year. Right. But, like, season hasn't gone as smoothly as you'd like it to. I mean, even going to Maui and coming back to travel with that is no joke to turn around and then play another game. And then I got sick for a few games. And then, you just hit bumps in the road sometimes. You got to be able to recover from it. And I feel like we're getting there. We're on the right track to really get hot down the stretch and really still get to where we thought we could go at the beginning of the year.
It's one thing to lose when you're playing, but you're sitting on a bench, you can't play. Mm-hmm. Standing there watching everybody practice, what was it like being away for those 4 games?
3 games?
4 games? 3 or 4.
I know definitely the 2 in Vegas, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 2 in Vegas and Marquette. So, yeah, 3.
So 3 games. Okay.
Yeah. But it definitely, as a player, you never want to be on the bench, so it sucked from that standpoint. But from, sitting on the sideline, you get a really different perspective on things, and you see, okay, this team, this is where we're lacking right now. This is how I can help the team in ways that I'm not already, helping them. Just being – what I saw is I need to be more vocal, be more of a leader. So I think I've done a little bit better job of that since I got back.
I'll tell you if you wasn't, bro.
Yeah, and it helped Fred too, right? I mean, having a chance to you could see him evolve when you were gone.
He got a great chance. He's going to be so good. But
super athletic, bro.
He's just such a raw talent right now. He just needs time to grow. But he's going to be so good, and he listens and tries to learn every day. So that was a great opportunity for him. But, it's just a good perspective change for me to be able to see things and try to better myself from, a leadership standpoint.
Nice. Yeah, so what did you learn about your team during that losing streak that you guys went on? Like, when I say learn, I mean, from an identity standpoint. I know there was a lot of, you just hear sports fans talking. I don't know how you guys are as players. Do you listen to comments? I mean, we're in the social media era. You can easily look on Instagram and all, but I guess there was a connotation of some people saying, too many threes. Some people saying not tough. Our personal take was, keep shooting and things like that. But you guys need that nucleus and stick together and be more tough together. That was kind of our take on it. Yep. What's your take on what you learned about the loser streak?
I think you kind of talked about already, just staying together. I think that kind of proved a lot to us, even through the 6-game losing streak. We didn't grow apart. We didn't start doing our own things. If anything, we became more focused on the right way to do it and the right process, because we probably got away from it a little bit during the losing streak, but I think we learned from that and came closer together, and that's kind of helping us now because we wouldn't have known that otherwise we go through that losing streak.
Yeah.
So now we're coming closer together. I think that's going to help us take the turn to really be the team we thought we could be. So
yeah, for sure.
And Ryan Kalkbrenner joining us here on Let It Fly Show. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I think that is great that you say that because, like, if you look at the talent that y'all got on your roster, the record don't matter when it comes to tournament time for the Big East tournament and for the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
I mean, and honestly, I think for me, I think you guys as a starting five do a really great job of carrying the load, knowing your role that you guys got to produce offensively a lot and get you guys going defensively or whatever. From a reserve perspective, what do you think about the people out there who say, hey, Creighton doesn't have a bench or the bench is not doing enough? What's your take on that?
I think I got a lot more confidence in my bench guys than people out in social media or whatever.
Right.
I mean, you start with Sharif, who played 4 years of college basketball and is a dog on defense. He can come in and give us good minutes. Francisco's been coming in and give us good minutes. He just, you know what you're going to get with him. He's very consistent.
Yep.
We already talked a little bit about Fred and how he's grown and grown. He's only going to get better. And then I think Mason's kind of in the same boat as Fred. I mean, he's redshirt freshman, so this is the first year playing games.
Yeah,
he's just trying to get used to things. I mean, he hasn't played in front of 18,000 people before.
Yeah, right.
And you can see like slowly getting there. And I think by the end of the year, he'll be able to really make a difference that people weren't seeing at the beginning of the year.
Y'all got a guy on their team. Ben Schultzberg. Man, he looked like he's working out with those pros back in LA or something. Some of the stuff and the work he be doing in practice. He's one of my favorite because he reminds me of myself. If you want to say it.
No, he's gonna be so good. He's one of my favorites on the team.
Man.
He's a freshman, so it's hard for him to do stuff now. But like you see the stuff he does in practice, he's gonna be a really, really good player on a really, really good team one day. Like he's going to be able to be the guy on a really good team someday. So I'm really excited for him because he works hard, listens. It's everything you can want from someone.
What was it like to do to USA basketball? What would you take away from that?
Oh, that was
talking about traveling.
The only time ever out of the country. So that was a really cool experience. But I think that helped my just confidence a lot. That was a big thing going from freshman to sophomore year, and even like going into sophomore year wasn't where it was at by the end of the year. But just to be able to say like, I went to USA basketball, got invited, which in that of itself, I was like, I never thought I'd do that.
That's
and then
crazy, bro.
I made the cut, which was like, I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that. So they believe in me. I must be doing something right.
Yeah. You're playing with NBA players too, guys who are going to be NBA players.
Guys who are already in the NBA. Or will be. And it was like, okay, I'm here. I'm with them. I thought I played pretty well, decent over there. And it's like, I can do this.
Does it kind of make you not think forward? You know, like anytime you get an opportunity to play on that big of a scale, it makes you start thinking about the NBA and all that type of stuff. Or do you humble yourself and stay? How do you handle that?
I think, like I said, it definitely makes you think that you can do that, but you got to be able to produce in college and produce in other games too before you can be like, okay, like this is super realistic for me. But it definitely puts that like thought in your head, like, okay, I'm on the right path. I just got to keep doing what I'm doing and I can get to where I want to be.
Yeah.
Most important question. You're going to get asked all day. In their prime, who's a better ball player, your mom or your dad?
My dad never played basketball. My mom played basketball out of St. Louis, so she can hoop. And it was always funny, like when we were like little kids that had like the mom shoot free throws at halftime or whatever, and all the other moms would go up there, go 0 for 10. My mom's up there going, splash.
1 for 1, 2 for 2. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And speaking of like the competitiveness, this is something that I got to ask. Amada Sanogo, UConn.
There you go.
You know, I'm going to ask.
Yeah, no, you got to ask the question.
I mean, so obviously, there were several people who watched the podcast that you did with my former teammate, Jahans Menegas, back in the summer. And for my take, you were just speaking about, just your confidence in the work that you put in and what you did last year with yourself. Yeah. Obviously, he took heed to that and took it personal from what is understood against the last time y'all played. How do you feel about that? Is it one of those things where like that game is this like a competitive matchup now between you and him, would you say? Or how do you handle or take that?
I mean, I definitely think it's a competitive matchup, but that anytime you got someone who's picked to be player of the year and someone who thinks they should be in the conversation, that's going to be a high-level matchup no matter what. So I like games like that. Yeah. I think it obviously didn't go my way the last one, but I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, you own, bro.
Looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to playing him in the Big East tournament if we see him in the Big East tournament. So I just want to get back out there and play.
Yeah. I mean, you play against some. I mean, even Derek Walker for Nebraska. That's that's a grown man.
Yeah.
He's got his own business. I mean, he's not he's driving trucks, right?
He's CDLs and come back and play.
Exactly. You going against guys like that. You're still developing as well, too. Your physicality wise, you think?
Yeah, I'm still developing that way. Obviously, I don't think that'll ever stop for me just because I'm just not naturally big. I just have to keep working on it.
Got to eat a lot.
Yeah, I do have to eat a lot. A lot. It didn't help earlier in the year when I got sick. It just lost a few pounds. Wasn't able to play with the conditioning I'm normally able to play with. But now that we're back on track, I can start to feel my physicality coming back, and it just keeps getting better and better each game.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know, man.
Question I wonder about, because we watch enough of Creighton. I can see you roll into the rim coming and lob to dunk. I can see it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the other team they're watching tape. Are you ever surprised how much it works? I mean, they know it's coming. They see it.
Yeah, I'm surprised how much it works. There, especially some games. I think Georgetown last year, I had 7 rolls and dunks. I was like, are they going to change something here? Or is this going to stop working?
It could just be you, bro.
Yeah, maybe. But I've definitely noticed this year, teams are putting way more of a concerted effort into taking it away. I don't think I noticed at all last year where our guard could just get all the way to the rim, where this year they're so worried about the flip up that the big is just staying on me and our guard is just going all the way to the rim.
Right.
Which didn't happen as much last year.
Right. And that's credited to you that's why I commend Coach Mack and the staff so much, because you doing your role and your job so well opens things up for your teammates.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's really fun to watch, man.
R2 needs to make that shot.
Yeah.
That's what he got to finish.
That's fine. I just know the thing about that is if you roll hard, you got to make the other team take away something. So something's going to be open. I might not touch the ball, but we're getting the shot.
Exactly. No, for sure. Yeah.
What do you take more joy in? That dunk or blocking a shot?
Blocking a shot.
Yeah.
I've always been a defensive player. I haven't really been able to score until the last year or two. So blocking shots always been what I've been able to do.
You haven't been able to score? How were you in high school? In terms of getting buckets?
Not good.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I still had the finish around the rim. I'd make a layup, make a dunk, but I wasn't the go-to scorer on the team.
Yeah.
Even when I played AAU, I played with Mac River Fire. I wasn't shooting the ball.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
I loved playing for them, but I wasn't shooting the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Does the coaches and I know you're a junior in your collegiate career, but you're just so fresh and new in your actual basketball career. Mm-hmm. Does the coaches talk to you a lot about your ceiling and how the future can be for you if you do X certain things now? Do they talk about that a lot?
They talk about my ceiling a little bit, just keep working on things. I don't think there's much that I think as long as I work on it, I think I can get better at pretty much everything I need to be good at. So that part's just exciting. I think coaches are excited when they see me working and get better at that. So that's all good there.
Yeah, it looked like you came in with a crew. Did you come in with a crew?
Yeah,
who's with you?
I got Xander, a teammate. Mm-hmm. Chris,
he's the videographer.
Yeah,
that's a pretty nice tripod he's got there. Look at that thing.
Hey, they got to start tagging you
really
on IG and Facebook
really
for everything you do.
That looks really good.
You don't get enough love.
We got Chris, who is our non-athlete friend, who I don't know how he ended up on our friend group.
He got in the group,
but he's there. We got.
He must buy drinks.
We got Ben's back there.
My guy.
Okay.
Schultzberg.
Yeah, Ben Solzberg, Keani Lockett, and Lexi Unruh on the women's team.
Nice.
And my girlfriend, Rachel Saunders, who's also on the women's team.
All right, they all get plugs on the podcast. I feel you, bro.
Yep.
Is she leading the score right now?
Rachel?
Yeah.
I don't think she's leading score. I think that's Morgan Molly.
She wasn't, and she fell 2% behind. Yeah. So we had Molly on. That was 2 weeks ago. Yeah. She was good, man. She was really good guest, and you could tell she talks on the court a lot because she had that raspy voice. And I know Coach is always talking about you guys need to talk more.
Yeah, that was a big point of emphasis through the summer because we lost Hawk, who was never not talking.
Yeah. Hey, I'm honestly the games that you guys lose, I think of him and how he would be on y'all in those moments, man.
There's definitely some times he saved us last year because he was talking.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Last before you go, goals for this year. What did you set for yourself? Where are you now in terms of those?
I just wanted to win a lot of games this year.
That's it.
And we kind of hit a slump at the beginning of this year, but I still think we can win all the games that I really wanted to win, which are in March.
Yep.
Nice. Ryan, we appreciate it,
My
man.
man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For real. Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
good to
That's
see
a
you.
long, big-handed, big-foot dude, man. I'm just like, this ridiculous. Big fella. Big fella. Thanks, man. We appreciate it. Ryan, he got some muscles, too. I hit his arm, and
Yeah,
I was like, well, I hurt myself. Look at that. I hurt myself there a little bit. You look at the way they're playing.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about this, is that, you have a 6-game losing streak, and then you have a win streak, and you have a losing streak, and then you lose 2 in a row, and you come back and you win 2 in a row. I thought the physicality of which they played against Providence, and then how they came out against Butler, and you could tell they'd played a physical game against a physical team, because Butler tried to do that pushing around stuff,
right?
And they were like, nah, you don't have that with us.
No, you're right.
You could tell.
I mean, the what's happening right now, after you go through all the adversity that you go through if you're Creighton, and you're trying to move forward and trying to stay on track to your goals, you start to figure out different sides of your actual identity. They are physically tough now. And they're competing in the scenarios, not versus sticking to the identity of what the culture is supposed to be. Shooters do need shots, but they're bringing out other aspects of the game.
They're shooting fewer threes
the
last couple of games. And I mean, I wouldn't complain about that, because you have the opportunity to get to the rack. You someone with our team where you can get to the rack. You got King coming off the bench getting points. Farabello coming off the bench getting points. And you mentioned the starters are averaging like 34, 35 minutes a game.
Exactly.
And they're getting there. I think, what was it? He had 6 players to score at least 8 points. Against Butler. That's balanced scoring.
No, exactly. And one of the things that I put in a note here is it's clear about needing Kalkbrenner. You know, I was kind of like doing some research back from when he was out versus to now. And since he's been back over 7 games, Creighton has the 3rd best offense and the 2nd best defense in the Big East right now. And that's with the record that they have. You know, and they got 3 home games coming up. We kind of talked about it. I don't know how I was confused about the next game, which is St. John's at home. But Creighton got 3 home games and one home game against the league's last place team in Georgetown.
They have a chance to go on the run.
You see what I'm saying? They got a chance to go on a run. And for me, like, I'm not looking past any team, but the biggest challenge that they got is Xavier the second time around.
Oh, yeah. And they owe Xavier, obviously. They owe them.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's weird because any given night,
right?
And I know we say this all the time, any given night in the Big East, outside of Georgetown, anybody can be beat. You look what happened the other night. St. John's goes into UConn, a place where they don't lose. They go in and they beat them by 11.
Man.
Took care of them. And then St. John's wasn't playing like that.
Right.
Nobody saw that coming.
Right.
Trust me, a lot of people had UConn and some money line parlays. That did not work out. It was not me. I was not the person.
But that's the thing around the culture around the country, though. Like,
that is true. Yeah, it's cross country.
Like, who is the clear number one? Like, you kind of know what teams are, like, top heavy in the conference and all, but everybody's beatable.
That's true.
And that's across the country. And for me, like, when it comes to Creighton, another thing I put was, as far as the identity now, like, we established that the starters, like, they hold the weight of offense and they set the tone defensively. The bench, when they come in, they literally got to lock in to do 2 things. That's help rebound and play well defense and hit open shots. If they can just hold it down, the offensive starters don't have to work as hard to, keep that momentum as they try to win the game.
And you know what the future of the program could be if Ryan and Rachel stay together. I mean, think about that. I mean, some kids, they can supply some athletes for both Coach Flan and Coach Maggott. They're still around. I mean, that's a long way down the road, but still, it certainly could happen. I look at that schedule coming up, and I'm serious, man. Hey, the years ago, I said, if Nebraska football wants to come back, these former players need to start making some babies. And you look at them, and look at the way you got 4 or 5 of those kids whose parents played there that are coming up or were an athlete at school.
You're right about
Look at Jalen Lloyd's mom. Incredible athlete. So start, Damon Benning's kid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Start making some babies, man. That's how you get better. But same as you did. I looked at that schedule and I thought to myself, they could win 7 of 9.
Right.
Just kind of off the top of my head and go on a run here. And then if you look up after winning 7 of 9, people are like, okay, that's what it should have been.
Yeah.
And you'd forget about what happened. Now, on the other hand, they go 5-5 over the next 10. Then the question marks are going to stay there.
Right. And the reason why I got to stay like that is because you look at the last 2 games, Butler and Providence. They didn't hit threes.
No, I mean 16 and 21 attempts. That's not even a lot of attempts for them.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, for me, it's like they have to find other ways to win. And if you can keep up that momentum, and I like to call it the bench mob. That's what, I was a 6th man for my team. If the bench mob do their job, the starters are going to ball. Like, they're so balanced. I think Creighton actually has a chance to end up the way they started.
So you don't see this. I was like, the Butler game I mentioned, 6 players that scored 8 or more. Then on the next game, you have 3 players that scored 60 of your 73.
Wow.
That just doesn't happen that way.
No, it really doesn't.
You went from being incredibly balanced to being top heavy, but your 3 best players each got over, was it? Yeah, 21, 20, and 19.
Exactly.
And that's what you'd expect from Shireman and Alexander and Kalkbrenner. So,
yeah.
Last night, good win for Nebraska. Ohio State's struggling. We know that.
Yep.
Now they've lost 5 in a row. But I was talking to one of the producers. I was talking to Pat about this.
Yeah.
Too many times watching Nebraska basketball, they've been in a situation like they were late against Ohio State, and they've given it away.
Yep.
Either they missed the free throw or they just turned the ball over. They couldn't score. Did enough down the stretch. Hold off Ohio State. Now, Ohio State didn't do a very good job of who to foul or fouling down the stretch. That's fine.
Right.
But you win 63-60. That's a solid win.
Yeah.
I don't care how much Ohio State's struggling. That's a game in the past that Nebraska would have lost.
100%. And for me, like, is it – let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is it okay to say that a technical foul is good for the strength of your team?
I think that was great. Because, first of all, that offensive foul they called, the moving screen,
it was a bad
touch
call,
him.
bro. It was a bad call.
And Fred Hoiberg is not that guy.
It.
He is not that guy. Even when he got mad, he still didn't look all that mad.
Exactly.
Like he's trying to fake it. But no, sometimes you need to get a tee.
100%.
We've all had coaches that one time or another just wanted to give me one.
Right.
Give me one. I need to get this. And it was perfect.
Exactly.
And then they missed both free throws, both technical shots.
Exactly.
So that fires your team up even more.
I thought it was weird how what was it, like 10 minutes and the score was like 10 points or something like that. First half was so rocky and choppy. I understand if that was Coach Hoiberg's strategy to get something going.
Yeah. Well, you had Derek Walker gets into foul trouble.
Yeah, he was on the bench.
He gets his 4th foul, 11:33 mark, and then fouls out in the game. That's another thing that says to you, if that happens, they lose.
Right.
And they still man. And then I know you play with a lot of good athletes. I know you have. But I watched Denham in high school. Denham Dawson jump out the building, literally, over there in Iowa Fieldhouse. Kid's got calves like the size of this damn table.
Yeah.
And he is so athletic.
Yeah.
He made those 2 scoop plays, had a block shot, 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be really good. But right now, he's just an athlete.
Yeah.
Learn how to play the game.
Yeah. I
That's
honestly,
a good pickup for them.
I honestly think that Nebraska is one of those teams where, like, they're scrapping and clawing. It's like that's like their identity. You know, like they first of all, you can tell that they play hard for their coach.
Yeah.
So that's very commendable.
Yeah.
But they win the best way that they can. And with a night like last night, if they keep getting hot like that when it matters, they're going to upset more teams.
So
except for Ohio State, they was on 5.
They're struggling right now.
They're on 5.
You look at Willem Breitenbach.
Yeah.
This was his line last night. 16 minutes, 3 points, no boards. And 4 fouls. Where I'm from, he would have had to buy some drinks. He had to do something with that line.
Right.
He hit him. He made it 2. He made the front of a 1-and-1.
Yeah.
4 fouls, no boards.
Hey, I'm gonna be
You're
honest.
a big man. Derek Walker's in foul trouble.
Yeah.
You're in the game. You're not getting boards.
Man, maybe it was just how tight the game was. That first half, I think the halftime score was like 22-20 something, or something like that.
Nebraska didn't score the last 3 minutes of the first half, and we're down 1 at halftime.
Yeah, like maybe it was just one of them games. I'm gonna blame it on.
Maybe.
But you can't have a step line and no boards though.
No, you can't. No boards. Not when you're 6'8" or whatever you're supposed to be.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, it's something. Back in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
it's my man Scotty Harris. He used to work with me at the Salvation Army. He had this phrase, man. It was called TFN.
Okay.
Tall for nothing.
Tall for nothing.
You don't want to go out like that.
Tall for nothing. There's no doubt about that. In the paint, though, Nebraska, despite Breitenbach not doing much, 32-16 in the paint. Nebraska took care of business. A lot of that was driving and making shots as well.
And then those 2 threes by Tominga and Grizel.
Yep. Well, Tominga had those 2 drives to the basket where he had the nice cutters. Those are nice.
Right.
He finishes with his left hand, which sometimes can be hard to get to.
Right.
We were mentioning what schedules look like going forward.
Yeah.
And I said I could see maybe Creighton winning 7 of the next 9.
Yep.
There are legitimately 5 wins. Now, Nebraska just reached their win total for last night.
Right.
They got 10 wins.
Yep.
You look at their schedule. Legitimately, I think I see 5 more wins.
5 more.
Am I crazy?
Yeah.
That'd be more than people thought.
Let's talk about it.
You got coming up, Nebraska plays on their schedule. I'm going to schedule. Okay, here we go. So they got at Penn State.
Yeah.
They can win that.
They can win that.
Yeah. Then they play Northwestern, a team that's struggling.
Yeah.
At Maryland, who's playing right now against leading Michigan by 4 at home.
Right.
That's at Maryland. It's a tough place to play in the Fieldhouse. And then at Illinois, a team that beat Nebraska.
Yeah.
Beat them badly, 76-50.
Right.
coming off of a good win against Minnesota. Nebraska plays Illinois at home and comes out lifeless.
Yeah.
So they have a chance to get revenge on that one.
Right.
And then they get Penn State again. So, I mean,
every game is a battle.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, no shade to my man Kalkbrenner, but Nebraska can steal some games.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
They can. They can steal some games.
100%.
And that's what they need to do. Nebraska football taking advantage of the transfer portal. Now 10 guys from the portal. The last happened today.
Right.
Earlier today, we're taping on a Thursday. Eric Gilbert, who started his career at LSU, who I watched a lot of at LSU. 5-star kid, talented tight end, was kind of a tweener. Wasn't sure if he was going to be a wide receiver or a tight end. Had some troubles in class, whatever. Decides he's going to go in the portal. Goes to Georgia, a team loaded with tight end depth.
Yep.
Doesn't really play there. Has some emotional problems there. His head coach says, we got to get him right both in class and out. So you're struggling when your head coach, when Kirby Smart says that. And then he leaves there, and now he's at Nebraska.
Right.
I know you know a lot of guys that went to Nebraska. They have a really good academic support system.
They do.
They have a good life skills program.
Yep.
Maybe they can keep him right so his 5-star talent can come out on the court.
It's a give and take thing. I mean, I'm just assuming he chose Nebraska for the fact of what they offer.
I hope so.
From a mentorship standpoint.
Yeah.
I say that because of Xavier Betts.
Yes, back now, yep.
And we'll definitely talk about him down the line.
Yep.
But Nebraska has a mentorship program and all the resources to get these young men the help that they need.
Yep.
But also, it's primetime football. When it comes to an opportunity playing under Coach Rule, I'm just trying to be optimistic.
Sure.
I'm not going to go with the 51st dates thing every game they play.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's an opportunity here where Nebraska can create a new culture. It's not even about getting back to where they were. With guys like him who come in the transfer portal, you got a top talent. You put him around the right mentors, you got a ball game.
This is the kid that gets off the bus first,
yes.
right? You go on a road trip, and 6'5", 250 gets off the bus.
Yep.
And you're like, that's our guy, right?
Exactly.
That's our tight end. Now, if he comes in and plays like he played his freshman year at LSU and contributes in a position that's had lost 2 of the starters from last year, and you have a guy who's been injured with Fedoni, if he comes in here and plays up to his skills level, he could be really good. I just hope he understands that he's got to come back and he's got to win over everybody.
Yeah.
He's got to win. Because there's a reputation of you went to LSU and left, went to Georgia, played none, and now you're coming in.
Exactly.
And by the way, he has to get an appeal to be able to play this year.
This year, right.
And he may get it because he only played really 2 games at Georgia.
Right.
So maybe he gets it, but he's got to earn that. He's got to earn that respect back from players.
So from your perspective about Nebraska, is this a building culture we're doing, or is this we want to win now, swing away right now?
I think it's a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think if you look at what they've done in the transfer portal, and we'll go over the wide receivers and what that room is going to look like compared to what it ended last year.
Right.
But you see them going out and getting a couple guys who could play quarterback.
Yep.
Going out and getting some guys who caught a bunch of balls at one point. Going out and trying to get offensive line fixed. Now, it would have been nice if the kid who just said he was going to come here from Stanford actually came here instead of going to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But they have went out and they got some guys for the offensive line. They went and got a couple pass rushers. But they also got young guys, too, that are still committing from the high schools. I think they're trying to do both. They're trying to say we want to win in 4 years, but at the same time, we got to win more than 4 games next year.
You're right. That's what it's about.
Got to do that.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I still have this theory or this conspiracy of Rayola's nephew.
Yeah, Dylan. Yeah.
Coming to Nebraska.
It's certainly a possibility.
I just think it's going to happen. I don't know why.
There's a great quote he had about how good Georgia is and how much he likes Georgia's program and stuff. That's tough.
Right.
If that's his 2 choices. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, obviously his dad played here and his uncle's a coach here. Yeah. So certainly there's a possibility.
Yeah.
We've seen some good quarterback play happen under Matt Rule. Matt Rule's he's had 2 college jobs.
Yep.
He's had 2 starters.
Mm-hmm.
For the 3 years he was at Temple, the 4 years at Temple, and the 3 years he was at Baylor, same starters. So he'll commit to you and he'll play you.
For sure.
So if you want to come play and get committed to, you got that.
And for the guys that want to go pro, he actually can get you there.
Yeah. Tell me this, because as a former player, Xavier Betts has got to re-win over the locker room in a way because he kind of quit on the team.
No, in the big major way.
And then on the other side, Garcia Castaneda, same thing.
Yeah.
Left the team.
Yeah.
And now he's got to come back. How do they win him over?
Well,
how do they get back in?
It's kind of a tough dynamic, man, if you think about it. Just for the fact that, and I'm not out personally attacking anybody, but
no, that's fine.
But when your head coach is not even all in the program at the time,
I know.
It's kind of like you don't give the kids any excuse. The accountability is there, but I think the way that they win the locker room over is buying in. You simply have to buy into everything, even if it's things that you don't like.
Yeah.
You have to earn your stripes by showing the coaches that you can be trustworthy, and that's what it comes down to. And that's why I mentioned about the resources when it comes to mental health and the mentorships and the tutors and all that, the resources that Nebraska has. Trev Albers, is a really great guy, and I'm confident in him being an AD. With leadership at the top, but the guys, if they don't buy in, it'll never work.
Xavier's background, his family background.
Yep.
And again, you don't want to call anybody out, but Scott Frost had to be both a mentor, a father figure, a lot of things to a lot of guys. Xavier really was one that needed that.
He was.
And it wasn't happening. His closest people were back here in Omaha. He wanted to be back in Omaha around the people he was closest to.
Yep.
And that makes it tough on everybody.
It really does.
And Matt Rule seems like, again, we'll see what happens.
Right.
Can't make any predictions because I've been wrong before. But it seems like he is a player's coach.
Yeah, it does.
And that he'll be there for whatever you need.
Yeah, it does.
You need a hard ass coach that's gonna be yelling at you and sit up, sit down, whatever. He seems like that guy. If you need somebody to put an arm around you, he seems like that guy too.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of we're honestly all in the players coaches era.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of like Coach Altman is one who's like he's definitely set in his old school mentality ways.
Sure.
But he's adjusted to his players a lot.
You have to now.
Like nowadays, you have to adjust to,
especially with the portal.
I mean, it's a different era.
Yeah.
Like I'm not one of those guys who, and I have an old school mentality, but like I don't believe in just being stuck in the old school ways and saying that's the only way that it works.
Yeah.
Matt Rule, I think, has an opportunity to change the program around for the simple fact that I think exactly what you said. He's going to adjust to his players, and he's going to have his offense and defense that he's going to bring in, and he's going to tweak it according to the talent that he has.
Yeah, Xavier still got some work in the classroom to get done.
For sure.
That needs to happen as well. We mentioned winning the teammates back over again.
Yeah, we got to get him on here.
We'll do that. We need to do that. Because you know what? He's a bright kid.
Yeah.
I've listened to him. I've talked to him. I know he's a bright kid.
Yeah.
It's not about being smart when going to school.
Right.
It's about going to class.
Yep.
It's about going to your tutors.
Yep.
It's about being there when you have to take a test. It's about just doing the right thing every day. And you'll be fine in college, especially if you have a support system like Nebraska does for academic support.
Yeah.
It's not that he's not smart.
Yeah.
He just got to go. He's got to be there.
And now I think
be present.
Yeah, with Coach Rule, I just think he has the foundational help and backing that he needs.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see, man.
So you got Marcus Washington.
Yep.
At the 31 catches last year, 15.2 yards a catch. You know he can make big plays. We know what he can do. Alante Brown, 16, 191. A guy that in practice, coaches always talk about the plays he made.
Yeah.
Never really got it going, but at least we saw some towards the end.
Yeah.
Then that's why I think you throw in maybe a Xavier Betts or Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. You throw them in there.
Yep.
And then the Billy Kemp is the one that's really interesting to me because the first thing I do when I look at stat pages, I go all the way over to average per catch.
Yep.
That's the guy I want to know about. And Billy Kemp's an under 10 yards a catch guy.
Yeah.
He's a guy that throughout his career is going to get you between 8 and 9.5 yards a catch. Now that moves the chains.
It does.
But he's not a big play guy.
No.
So maybe he gets you 45, 50 catches for about 400 yards.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
But you also got to have guys who are going to go out and go down the field and make the 15-yard catches as well.
I agree. Yeah. And when you list and say things like that, it kind of gives you like PTSD of what the culture has been in the past.
Yeah.
And where the culture was trying to go, and now wondering the direction we're going in now today. I think it's a great pickup.
Yeah.
Knowing that we didn't have a number one receiver, it just makes me wonder what type of pass type offense are we going to have.
Kemp is 9.2 yards for his career, playing a solid 4 years at Virginia, one of the leading receivers.
Yeah.
Josh Fleek is the other guy I didn't mention, was at Baylor, lots of injuries. Last full year where he was healthy, he had 21 catches for 181 yards and a touchdown, but he's been banged up. But he also is a guy that's built a little bit like a running back.
Yeah.
So you give him the ball out of the backfield, do some other things as well. So he's the other guy. That's 6 guys I mentioned.
Right.
That's not quite enough.
Yeah.
But you also have some young guys as well that are actually high school guys that are on the roster. So maybe one of them can step up.
I feel like with that being said, as long as our offensive line improves,
Yeah.
our defense steps up,
Yep.
I think we're in good shape.
I think so too. I'm with you. The biggest issue is obviously the offensive line.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about it. What you're doing on the offensive line, they got to get that straightened out. Maybe it was a play calling philosophy.
Yeah.
That's what Matt Rule said. He said it was more about not necessarily the players or even the scheme. It was about what was being called.
Right.
They weren't teaching to what they were running.
Right.
Maybe that's the case. We'll see.
Yeah.
But they went out and they got MJ Sherman, who came in, who's another edge guy, another guy who was a top 100 recruit.
Yep.
I mentioned Eric Gilbert, who's a top 100 recruit. So they have got some guys. Corey Collier, another guy who was considered a pretty good player as well. It's going to come down to everybody getting together in the locker room, getting on the same page as you mentioned, and playing together. The schedule sets up going to give you 2 road games to start off. Yeah. Right? Never easy to start off on 2 road games. Right. That second game at Colorado.
That's healthy, though.
You go there and you win that game, and it's a whole different season.
100%, especially with the momentum they have with Coach
You
Prime
cannot start 0-2. You can't lose to Minnesota and then go to Colorado and lose that game. But if you can start off somehow in 2-0,
right?
It's a possibility. It's certainly a possibility. Last thing I want to get to before we get out of here is NFL playoffs and what's going on with the divisional round. This is my favorite round of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, man.
You don't have as many games, but these games get you to a spot where you're playing to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, at this point in the time last year, wasn't this the electrifying point when there was like close games?
Yeah, it was. Well, the Cincinnati was a game that a lot of people didn't give them a lot of respect coming into the playoffs. Right. And this is the week where they had their big win. They knocked Kansas City off. Yeah. There's a lot of up in the air in terms of the number and ATS and that kind of stuff. Yeah. You mentioned before we got started a couple games you thought might be upsets. Yeah. In this round, usually it's been the underdog. Oh, man. That the last few years that have played better. And I don't know if it's because the teams that have the bye are rusty or what, but they haven't played as well. Yeah. So you have Philadelphia coming off the bye, playing a Giants team that they've already played twice this year. Yeah. And then you have Kansas City coming off the bye, playing a Jacksonville team that had the greatest comeback in playoff history.
Come on, man. Talk about it.
It's crazy.
And to be honest with you, it's supposed to be Chiefs and Chargers, right?
Yes.
But because of that comeback.
Well, it would have been actually Chiefs and Bengals, I believe, and the Chargers would have played Buffalo. I think that's the way it would have been if it happened. Because of the ranking of it, Kansas City is going to get the lowest seeded team.
Okay, thank you for the fact check.
They get the 4, but that's your opening game on Saturday. Kansas City's favored by 9. I'm with you. I think the Jags can stay close.
I think the Jags
I like the under in the game. It's 52. Yeah. I know people are looking at last week. You only had one game go under all last week. Everything else was over. I think it's the opposite this week. I think you have a bunch of unders this week. And Andy Reid also has the thing where he'll get out to a lead and let teams stay in it, win the game, but not cover. So I think that's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. As long as the Jags can have a special second half of football, the first half, you know, you playing against the MVP. Yeah. And what's crazy about it is Patrick Mahomes actually is playing better without Cheetah than he was when he was with Cheetah.
Yeah, they both had, Cheetah had his best season. Yeah. And Patrick Mahomes is having a great season.
Yeah.
So 2 good players going in the right places.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Kansas City won that trade, though.
Yeah,
because if you can still be good without him and get the stuff you got,
that's what I'm trying to say.
The other Saturday game, I mentioned this, Giants and Eagles. Again, third matchup. You're talking about an Eagles team was playing great. Yeah. Jalen Hurts gets injured. Yeah. Gardner Minshew plays one good game and then has a struggle in his second game. But if you get a healthy Jalen Hurts against a team in the Giants that, yes, they played really well last week. I like the way they played. I thought they had a chance to win. But Philadelphia's just a better team. Yeah. This line is 7.5. Yeah. Seems like a lot. Yeah. But sometimes a line is big for a reason.
Yeah. And when you think about things like the Eagles' rush defense, and then you got Daniel Jones been taking off on people.
Yeah, that
he's been running, man.
Yeah. Well, his you look at the guys at the top who have it's called EPA. It's the idea behind what you should get in terms of per point based on what you do. Yep. The top 7 guys are all running quarterbacks.
I'm trying to tell you.
And he is in that top 7 guys because he can go out and get you 65 yards rushing.
In a perfect world, man, wouldn't it be cool if Hurts get the MVP? Hurts win a Super Bowl. Hurts get a 30 for 30.
But I don't think Hurts is not, since he missed those last 3 games, I don't think he gets the MVP.
But he playing like an MVP.
He was playing like an MVP, but when he missed 3 games.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I think it's Mahomes now, and the number shows that. So then on the other side, for the AFC on Sunday, You get the Bengals and the Bills,
Yep.
a rematch of the game that got canceled on Monday night, of course, because of what happened on the field.
Yeah, it's the game.
It's that
I
game
guess you wanna
again.
say, yeah.
And it's funny, you look at that game,
Yeah.
and Buffalo was favored by 2.5 or 3
Yep.
at Cincinnati. Now they're at home. It says 4 on here. I saw 5 this morning, 4.5, 5. It looked like early Cincinnati was the team that was kind of in charge of that game early on. Buffalo couldn't stop them. I kind of feel with all the offensive line injuries that Cincinnati has, that Buffalo's going to – I think Buffalo might roll them.
Yeah.
And they have been playing like that. They've been turning the ball over in the red zone.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's making mistakes. But I really have a feeling that this could be a 14-point game.
Yeah, I feel like that biggest play in history with the – that was made in the game that the Bengals had, was that play. But I think it ends.
Yeah, I think it ends.
I think it ends.
You can't be without 3/5 of your offensive line, and you already offensive line was struggling.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase could have a huge game. I don't believe Mixon is going to run the ball that great on the Bills. It's going to come down to Josh Allen not throwing interceptions, which he's been doing in the red zone. And then the final game this is what I grew up with. Dallas and San Francisco. This was it felt like when I was growing up.
I feel like just seeing those two names reminds me of when I was growing up. I had a pullover coat, and I had a puffer coat. One was the Dallas Cowboys, and my brother had the 49ers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
I'm glad you didn't have both.
No,
because that would have made me sad.
No, I just had to pull over. I had to pull over.
You have the Cowboys, who played the best game they've played in weeks.
Yep.
Took care of business. A lot of people thought Tampa was going to maybe even be in the game on Monday, maybe even win it. They were not. They got destroyed. And then you got San Francisco, who they won too many games in a row.
Would you say they like the best team in football, right?
Well, they won 11 in a row.
Yeah, I mean,
6 in a row with a backup quarterback who was the last pick in the draft.
Oh, you got to be the best team in football, for sure.
The problem with that is that it's not healthy to go into playoffs and win that many games in a row. It's just not. I believe, if I have this number right, I believe 0-6. The last 6 teams in the playoffs that came in that had won 10 or more games in a row.
And that makes me feel better about my point, because I honestly think that the Cowboys are not getting the respect that they deserve for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. But maybe it's because all of those failures in the playoffs. Yeah. And, and to me, Dak Prescott last game showed why he was one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL.
Played really well. Yep. I think that's one where I lean Dallas plus the 4.5. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a lower scoring game too. The total is 45.5. I think that's going to be a grinded out game. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Purdy, against the pressure that Dallas can bring, struggles a little bit more, kind of how he did in the first half last week. But in the end, I think we're going to have Kansas City and Buffalo playing each other in the AFC Championship, and I think we're going to have Philadelphia and Dallas playing in the NFC Championship. That's what I think the championship games are.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that would be.
I'm with you on that.
That would be very good ratings. For those 2 games.
I am with you on that.
Very good ratings. As always, want to thank the folks here at Hail Varsity Club. Had some very good wings. They were delicious. I asked for the hot. It was hot. It wasn't that hot. It was hot. It wasn't hot. Pat Stafford, of course, producing it. Chris Gorman as well. Al Lopez not hanging out with us today, but normally, man, makes it happen. Phil McClain, of course, for booking. Ryan Kalkbrenner, we appreciate him as well. Always Omaha Steaks. Never a bad time to give Omaha Steaks as a gift. I tell people all the time. We're back next Let It Fly show, the 26th of January. That is the Pink Out game.
It's going to be fun.
We're going to have Teresa McDermott on.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, breast cancer survivor, big supporter of Susan G. Komen. We'll have her on to talk more about that as well. We'll talk about the Let It Fly pink beer as well. Yeah. The pink can beer, all of that as well. That's coming up on January 26th. Josh, take us away.
For my man, Michael Severe, I'm Josh Jones. You know how we do it. It's the Let It Fly show.